This is an All Ears English podcast, episode 36, Wisdom Wednesday. Spice up your English with humor and learn a joke. Welcome to the All Ears English podcast, where you'll finally get real native English conversation. Now here are your hosts, Lindsay McMahon, the English adventurer, and Gabby Wallace, the language angel, coming to you from Boston, Massachusetts, USA. In today's episode, we have a super special and funny guest.
Okay, so today we're here with Ron from the English Funcast, and we're so happy to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us today, Ron.
Thanks for having me.
All right, great. So we're really excited to have you here, and we'd love to kind of ask you a couple of questions about your podcast, about what you're doing over at English Funcast.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
All right, cool. So Gabby, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, so just tell us a little bit about you and about the Funcast. Tell us about what you do.
All right, so I'm originally an English teacher. I taught in China for a few years, and then I came back to Canada, and I'm teaching here at a private high school. And in my spare time, I like to do comedy. I do a lot of stand-up comedy. I go to different bars in Toronto, and I tell jokes. And what I did was I created the English Funcast podcast, where it's a method where I can tell jokes and at the same time teach English. Because when you learn from jokes, if you laugh at a joke in English, it means you actually understood the joke. And there's a lot of puns you can learn, homonyms and stuff like that.
Excellent.
Oh, that's so cool.
I like that.
I love stand-up comedy.
That's
fun.
great. Do you sometimes get some of your listeners to come and listen to you in Toronto doing the comedy?
No, not really. I never got any listeners to come in Toronto. I was in New York actually last year, and I had some of my listeners come to see my show there, but they didn't really understand my jokes. I think my stand-up that I do in bars is much different than the ones I do on my podcast.
Absolutely.
I could see that.
Yeah, that's great. So what do you think is the benefit of sort of learning English with humor? What would you say?
I guess it's exciting. It gets the listeners or the learners focused. And when they start reading it, if they read it over and over again, once they understand it, they'll actually start laughing. And this way they know that they understood what they just read.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It probably really helps people relax.
Yeah. I was teaching a class today. Do you guys know who Rastamouse is?
No, I don't think so. Do you know who that is?
No.
Have you heard of Rastamouse? They have this show in Canada. I think they sold it to the US. It's a Rastafarian children's show for learning English.
Whoa.
Wow.
But all they do is they speak Jamaican slang, and it's hilarious.
Interesting.
That's different.
Yeah.
So I made my students watch it today. So it's they speak me want to go eat the cheese, man. Who be thieving the cheese?
That's great. You sure you're not Jamaican?
No, I'm definitely not. But they were confused because I had the captioning on. It's on Netflix. I made them read the captioning, and they have completely wrong spelling. So they spell me M-I, or instead of this T-H-I-S, it'd be D-I-S.
Oh, okay.
So I had to teach them the difference, how this is not real proper English, but it's more of a slang English.
Oh, interesting material. I bet that was fun for your students.
Yeah, man, they had a blast.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. So what do you see as the vision for English Funcast in the future in terms of your students? What do you want them to be able to do?
I just want them to, improve their English and have a good time while doing it, right? I think the most important thing when studying a language is to be able to motivate yourself, right? Mm-hmm. There's many different methods out there, and people have to find the best method for themselves. And if they like to laugh and learn, then maybe that's a method that they'd enjoy.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, everybody likes humor. I think 99% of people, like humor. So it seems like a great motivator to learn.
And we know that people are looking for a different way to learn English. So that's.
I think it can be difficult to learn humor and to have a sense of humor in a second language because there's so many double entendres or double meanings or cultural references. So how do you help English learners to get there to understanding some of those the puns or the double meanings or cultural references?
I read jokes. I have a joke right now. Can we do a joke right now?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this is a joke I have. It's not the greatest joke, but it's okay. It's last night I went to a 24-hour grocery. When I got there, the guy was locking the front door. I said, hey, the sign says you're open 24 hours. He goes, not in a row. That was an okay joke. But what's good about that joke is that they learn, like, I can like talk about like how there's like different like grocery stores, like I guess in Canada and US, like 7-Eleven, and they're open 24/7.
Yep.
Right? Some countries, I guess, you don't have that. And like the meaning of not in a row, right? So in a row, it means it's continuous. But not in a row means that there's breaks. Like when you go to work, you don't always work 8 hours in a row. You can say I work maybe 4 hours, and then I'll go on break for lunch, and then I'll continue. I'll work 4 more hours in a row.
Oh, interesting. And that's really key information to understand if people are living in Canada and, you know, trying to get around.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
cool. Yeah, so you break down the joke and make sure that the key parts are understood.
Great. Well, this has been great. Ron, thanks so much for coming to talk with us today. And it's been really exciting to meet you. So can you let our listeners know where they can find you online?
So you guys can find me online at EnglishFuncast.com and on Facebook at Learn English Funcast. That's our fan page.
All right, cool.
Great.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah,
All right, thanks all
so
for having me.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Hey, Lindsay, so I've heard some of your students have been using the premium transcripts for this podcast. Tell me about that.
Yeah, you know, this podcast is fantastic if you want to have some fun and you want to learn a little bit, you want to get a little bit of motivation for your English. But, you know, my students are actually really, really serious about improving, and I'm excited about that. That's why I'm working with them. And so for them, the way for them to actually really improve is to use the premium transcripts. So we've been using those in class together, and they've been able to learn a ton.
Yeah, actually, my students too, they read the transcripts. You can read them out loud. You can do some shadowing with the transcripts as well. You can look up vocabulary. You can do a lot of things. I don't want to go on and on, but the premium transcripts are super helpful. And we want to encourage those of you who are serious about improving your English this new year to try them out. You can find them at allearsenglish.com/conversations.
All right, so please check it out. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the All Ears English podcast. We're here to help you learn English, and you can help us by leaving a 5-star review on iTunes. See you next time.